Rated M for mature.
Sniper Elite Survival Mode is designed to put players' skills to the test, pitting them against wave after wave of increasingly difficult enemies while defending command posts. Whether you go in alone or with backup, making it out alive is no easy task. We've won our fair share of survival matches and lost more than a few too, and that experience means that we have some tips that will help you come out on top and live to fight another day. So gear up, call your squad, and don't forget to use the link in the description to pre-order Sniper Elite Resistance today. Elites, prepare to survive. Communicate and prepare. The first thing you're going to want to do in any survival mode match is to coordinate with your team. Having open comms when you go in with a squad is incredibly important, and many times it is the difference between success and failure. Every round begins with a small timed period where you can gather up supplies and get a feel for the area you'll be defending. Make sure everyone knows their position and where to focus their fire. We can't tell you how many times a survival match has been lost because someone dropped the ball defending their zone. Hint, it's a lot. It's a lot. Once the match starts, don't forget to stay in communication throughout the match and try to tag in for a buddy if they're being overwhelmed. Oh, and if you're playing solo, you obviously don't need to communicate with any teammates. You just need to do the work of 4 people all by yourself. Good luck. Lay traps. Lots of them. Hopefully everyone in the survival squad will have a few traps on them. Teller and shoe mines specifically. These babies, they're gonna be your best friends before too long. In the setup period, it's a good idea to put these traps down in places you think will be difficult to defend. Choke points like hallways, stairs, and doorways are excellent options, and you might even take out more than a few enemies at a time with some proper placement. Just make sure they're spaced out enough that they don't activate each other. That's a great way to waste good traps. You'll get a better idea of what these ideal trap points are for each map the more you play, and we're going to talk about that more in a second. But if you're just starting out, use your best judgment. As a side note, upgrading your equipment survival skills will allow you to carry more traps, which can seriously be a lifesaver. Just some food for thought. Memorize enemy routes. Fantastic weapon skills and quick reflexes will only get you so far in survival mode. To have the best chance of victory, you're going to need a thorough knowledge of your environment. After all, real soldiers don't get dropped into a battle zone blind. That's what recon is for. Unfortunately, carrying out recon in survival mode means that you're probably going to fail a few times. And you know what? That's fine. It's part of the learning process, so don't stress it. Our suggestion would be to try to make the most of each match, learning as much as you can about whatever map you fight in before you kick the proverbial bucket. Recognize where enemies are coming from. Take note of spawn points and carry that information into each match. It's worth noting that enemy approach patterns and spawn points won't be exactly the same for each match, but after some recon, you'll be able to adjust your focus to the most important areas on the fly. Be kind, share supplies. This really shouldn't have to be a point we need to mention, but judging by some of our online matches, it definitely is. Guys, please save some equipment for your teammates. You can't really call this a first come, first serve situation since it's both a team effort and a matter of life and death. So be a good squad mate and make sure everybody is outfitted as best as possible. I mean, supplies are already limited between rounds, so don't make it worse. Lone wolves, go nuts. It's all yours, and you're gonna need it. We have more survival mode tips coming up, but now is a good time to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have more awesome Sniper Elite content on the way, and you won't want to miss it. Thank you for your support. Now, back to the video. Stick together or stay out of sight. If you feel the need to run off and take on some enemies by yourself in a game of survival mode, here's a little tip. Don't. Not only are you putting yourself in danger, the odds of taking a shot from an unseen sniper are very high, but your squad's defenses will also be weakened. Then if someone has to leave to revive you, the cycle continues. Stick together as much as possible. Watch each other's backs, and again, maintain communication. Now, if you're a psycho who's trying to tackle survival mode solo, here's a piece of advice relevant to you. Don't let them see you. The enemy will already know where you are, so stealth isn't really a concern, but what we're talking about is using cover, staying out of sight, and decreasing the likelihood of getting sniped as much as possible. Enemy snipers, top priority. We've mentioned enemy snipers a few times already, but they're such a problem that they also get their own section. Seriously, make these guys your top priority, especially on higher difficulties. An enemy sniper allowed to continue doing what they do has the power to truly ruin your day, especially if you need to go Rambo and fire a machine gun continuously for suppressive fire. They'll pop you in a second. It might be a good idea to designate a squad mate as a sniper exterminator, preferably the one with the steadiest hand. Oh, and make sure spotters are dealt with just as swiftly. You don't want to deal with artillery strikes. Enemy vehicles. Okay, for our last tip, let's talk about enemy vehicles. Motorcycles, Kubel wagons, transport trucks, scout vehicles, and tanks. Whenever any of these show up, it usually means you're in for a bad time. Our advice is to hold on to your armor-piercing rounds, Panzerfaust ammo, and satchel charges for when you need to deal with these vehicles. Motorcycles are easy enough to deal with if you can take out the driver and gunner quickly. And the Panzerfaust is going to be your best friend when Kubel wagons and transport trucks show up. Those sweet, sweet multi-kills. But armored vehicles are a bigger problem. Blow them up fast with satchel charges and rockets. Look for exposed engines or exhaust vents you can snipe, and do your best not to stay in their line of fire for too long. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hey, while you're here, what are your best tips for success in survival mode? Let us know down in the comments, and until next time, stay sharp, shooters.